Balanced literacy components are interactive writing, shared writing, and independent writing. Interactive writing is the process where the teacher and the student share the pen, and it is normally used with younger students to help teach and show how to properly write. This process can be done one-on-one or in small groups. Shared writing is the process. This process is basically demonstrated by the teacher through a write aloud. This is where the teacher writes with the students. The pen is always in the teacher's hand, but the students are the ones telling the teacher what to write, so basically the teacher is acting as the scribe. An example of shared writing is the class writing a poem together. The teacher could ask one student what they want the topic to be, and then the class brainstorms ideas for the poem collectively. Independent writing is the process where students write on their own. The students are allowed to write on a topic of their choosing. The purpose of this process is to encourage and make proficient writers that write with a purpose. Writing workshop components are mini lesson with a mentor text, introduction, writing time, and sharing time. Mini lesson with a mentor text. A mini lesson is a shorter lesson that has one specific narrow focus that will give the students enough information for a specific skill or concept that the students will then see in a bigger lesson. Mini lessons normally include a mentor text that is just a book that has a certain skill or concept within the writing of that book to show the students what that skill looks like on paper. The introduction is where you introduce what the mini lesson is over to the students. This is a time to explain it in a simple way to the students so it is easy for them to grasp or remember. Writing time. In the mini lesson, you have an activity for the student to practice what they just learned. This is what the writing time means. Everyone takes however much time you give them to complete the writing activity that revolves around what is taught. An example of this is if the mini lesson is over punctuation, the teacher would have a paper of a few sentences written out without the punctuation mark at the end. And the teacher would give the students about 5 to 10 minutes to write themselves what punctuation mark goes at the end of the sentence. Sharing time. After the writing time is when the students can share the answers they got and why they got them. This is the time for the teacher to check for understanding and correct/help the struggling students. An example would be the students share which punctuation marks they put at the end of their sentence. Sally said she put a period on the end of one sentence, but you realize that this was incorrect and a question mark should actually go there. This gives you the chance to explain to the students how they know if it is a question, exclamation mark, or a period. Writing process stages. Rehearsing/pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, sharing, and publishing. The pre-writing stage is the first stage of the writing process. This is where the student can get all their ideas down in whatever way they choose to do so. This is the brainstorming stage of the process and where they figure out what they want their topic to be for their story. Drafting. This is the stage where the student creates the rough copy. It is something to get their mind thinking of how they are going to set up their story. This is not the final copy, it is just a more cohesive product. Revising. This is the stage where the writer looks over the draft they had previously made. Sometimes during the drafting stage you make mistakes you do not see in the moment, but reading over it again, you then realize, so the revising stage gives you a chance to fix the mistakes you made before, so you can be sure to fix those mistakes for the final copy. An example of this is peer revising. This is where students can partner up and also let their partner read the rough draft just to see if they see any mistakes that the student had missed when they read it. Editing. This is the part that a partner does for you, where they write on your actual rough draft the correction for your mistakes so you can physically see what you did wrong. Sharing. This is a process that students will share their ideas or rough drafts with either the whole class, small groups, or partners. Publishing is the part of the process where you make your writing presentable and the final copy how the writer wants it. 6 traits of writing. Ideas, organization, voice, word choice, sentence fluency, and conventions. Ideas. In writing, this is figuring out what your main message or main topic is for the story and following this certain idea throughout the story. Organization. Organization is the way the story is structured. For example, if it is a novel, the story should have a beginning, middle, and end. Voice. This is the emotion within the story, and it is the tone of the story. This is what makes the readers relate to the story. Word choice. This is where the writer finds the juicy vocabulary to make the story more interesting to read. It is the vocabulary the writer specifically picks for their story. Sentence fluency is the way the story flows. This is where you notice the rhythm within the story. Conventions is the grammatical side of the story. This is the part of the process that focuses on the spelling, punctuation, capitalization, grammar, and sentence structure. All of these concepts work together in the classroom by collectively making a story piece the correct way. The different types of writing teach the students how to write properly. The writing workshop components teaches the students a specific skill and gives them the opportunity to practice this skill. The writing process is what helps them get to the perfect final product, and the 6 traits of writing helps them know what all to include into their writing.